torn is the wrong word. Because torn would mean that I wasn't excited when Tony Romo completed that pass to DeMarco Murray on 4th and goal from the 12-yard line to go ahead with 1:08 left in the ball game. Torn would mean that I wasn't excited when that 4th and 6 pass flew everyone's head from Kirk Cousins and the Dallas Cowboys got to take a knee to win the game. No, that's torn is the wrong word. I don't know how to describe this right now because right now I am excited. My team won the football game. They had a great comeback against one of our arch rivals in a game that we had to win to keep ourselves, to control our own destiny to win this game. And yet, there's still that sinking feeling in the back of your head that this is just keeping it alive for one more week. Because really what we saw today, of course you saw the heroics of Tony Romo, and other than that one really bad pass that got intercepted, even though Dez fell down, that thing was going to get picked off no matter what. Romo had a really good game today, especially in the second half when we were down 9 points. He really drove us down, had the leg injury, fought through that. Romo has, I want to think Romo has, I don't know why he ever got the reputation of being soft, but he's kind of thrown that off anyways. He's won with broken ribs, all this kind of thing. So we know he's tough. We know he's competitive. We know he wants to win. That being said, though, this was one of those games, though. Cowboys started off hot. Spurlock got that return to the 3-yard line. Dallas scores in 2 plays. 7-0 Cowboys. It's 14-6 at halftime. And then you threw it to a guy named Tyler Klutz. And ever since when he fumbled the ball, at that point until the comeback started, Cowboys didn't do another good thing all game. But there is resiliency in this team. This team wants to win. At least it looks that way. I mean, they're playing hard in this game. I know Dez wants to win. But once again, it was frustrating once again. And you know what? This win bailed out the coaching staff. Because for a while, it's just been a Cowboys fans thing. Like, why don't you just give the ball to DeMarco Murray? He's killing it. He's doing awesome. And every week, he gets about 8 to 10 carries in the first half, has about 60, 70 yards. Averaging, once again, going in the second half, I believe, 7.8 yards a carry going in the second half. And then, once again, you abandon it. And, it's kind of a joke. The joke was always that, hey, don't let it work too hard because if it's working too well, then the Cowboys are going to abandon it in the second half. But that's exactly what they've been doing. But they went back to it once the Cowboys were down 9 points and maybe we should give DeMarco Murray the ball some more. And it, once again, kind of ironic the fact that it came down to a pass to DeMarco Murray to win the game because the runs from the goal line didn't work. Heck, on 3rd down, DeMarco backed us up to the 12-yard line. And it looked like just another Cowboys debacle. But they pulled it out, and they won. So tonight, it doesn't matter what the Eagles do. I look for them to probably sit some guys, kind of like Dallas did last year, where they were in a situation where it didn't really matter win or lose. I know NBC is going to be frustrated with that tonight, but I think that the Bears have something to play for, whereas the Eagles comes down next week against Dallas. And this is 3 years in a row now. 3 years in a row, and it's happened before that too. But at least this 3 years in a row. 2 years ago, it was the Giants. Last year it was the Redskins. This year, it's the Eagles. Every single time the Dallas Cowboys, the division championship, has come down for the last week of the season, with a playoff spot on the line for the winner and no playoffs for the loser. It's happening again this year. Common denominator: the Cowboys are involved in every single one of them, and up until this point, the Cowboys have lost every single one of those. Now I'm glad this one's in Dallas because if this thing was in Philly, I don't really give us much chance at all to win that game. The game's going to be in Jerry World in Arlington. I don't know. I have no clue what's going to happen next week. So no. Am I? Of course, part of us as Cowboys fans were almost like, you know what, Redskins, put us out of our misery. Like, just beat us, and then let the Eagles beat the Bears, and then this thing be over. We don't have to care about it. We can worry about next year. But of course, that's the more cynical side of us, because the real side of us really is, look, we want this team to be good. We want to be able to cheer this team on. This team makes you so mad, so frustrated. But they're just good enough. And I pointed this out in my story for the news last week about why it's so frustrating being a Cowboys fan. they're good. They're just good enough to keep you hanging on. They're good enough where you can, because of course as a fan, your opinion is going to be slanted towards them no matter what. But they're just good enough to take that and make you think as a fan, we got a chance here. If they just do this, this, or that, we got a chance here. Now, I said, if we beat the Eagles next week, which I think the Cowboys can do, I think we can beat the Eagles. We did it once this year. That being said, in the playoffs, if the Cowboys make it to the playoffs, I don't expect any kind of run from them. I know 8-8, 9-7 teams have had runs before, a la the New York Giants, but the New York Giants, when they made that run, they had some really good momentum going into the postseason. The Cowboys have no momentum. They're not doing anything at a playoff level at this point, especially on defense. And a lot of that's because of injuries, but whatever. But no, look, extremely excited. I think, once again, Tony Romo, he did come up in the clutch today, but he's got to do it one more time. I'm not going to get too excited and pump my chest being the Tony Romo guy just yet. He did his job today, but that means that you set up for next week. And if he doesn't do it against the Eagles next week, it's going to be the same narrative that's been for a while. Like I said, this went a long way in trying to change that narrative. But if you lose to the Eagles next week, it didn't matter. And you're still 8-8 like you've been the last, 3 seasons in a row. Good job, Cowboys. Always good to beat the Redskins. Beat them on the road, 24-23. Of course, didn't want to make it easy on us, but in the end, the Cowboys win. Showdown against Philly next week. We'll see what happens then. But for today, how about them Cowboys?